Hello everyone. In the previous video, we have already done the setup of our Azure account. Now, in this video, we are going to download Visual Studio Code, do the setup, and then we will also configure GitHub Copilot. And then we will see how we can use MCP Server with GitHub Copilot in agent mode. Let's start. First of all, you need to download Visual Studio Code. So you can go to the first link and you can choose whatever system you have, Windows, Linux, Mac. So I have already downloaded this Visual Studio Code. So let me quickly open Visual Studio Code. So here, this is the welcome page of our Visual Studio. And if I show you the support for MCP server, so you can go to the command palette, and if you search for MCP, so you will see this option MCP add server, list server, open user configuration, browse MCP server. Now let me show you some of the MCP servers that are available and ready to use. So click on browse MCP server. So you can enable MCP servers marketplace as well. This is currently in preview. You simply need to click this model context protocol. So this page will open, and in this page you will see the complete documentation of how to use MCP servers in VS Code, how it works. So everything is provided here, and you can go to this MCP part where you can see different MCP servers available. So here you can see if I search for Azure, so you can see we have Azure DevOps, Azure AI Foundry, Azure Kubernetes Services. If I search for Atlassian server, so that is also available. So here you can see. So we are going to install the servers and we are going to test the server in Visual Studio Code. But first of all, we need to configure with GitHub Copilot. To begin with GitHub Copilot, we need to set up Copilot, and for that we require one GitHub account. So I'm going to log in with my GitHub account. So here you can see we need to authorize Visual Studio Code to use this particular account. Click on continue, click allow. Now we have successfully logged into our GitHub account. So you can see the information here that Bhaskar Mishra 2211 Copilot user is logged in with the GitHub account. So that is the step you need to do. Let me quickly. This is the chat window that will open. So inside this, you can see this is the agent mode, ask mode, edit mode. So in the presentation as well, I have told you that we are going to use agent mode, and here you can add the context, that is files and folders, screenshots, problems, symbols, etc. like this. And here you can see the options of tools, and I have also talked about different LLMs or models that we are going to use. So here you can see we have GPT 4.1 support, GPT 4.0 support, Cloud Sonnet, Cloud Sonnet 4, GPT 5. So all these models are available for use. So we can choose whatever models we need to work with in agent mode. So this is how the GitHub Copilot setup will be done. And once this is completed, what we can do is, let me also show you the tools as well currently. So currently you can see we have this built-in tools available, that is changes, edit, extension. So these are all the built-in tools that if I ask any prompt, so it is going to look for this tools abilities and then it is going to do the work. Okay. Now let's open palette, and here you can choose the option of add MCP server, or you can simply go to the browse MCP server, and we are going to install Azure MCP server first. I'll go to the MCP, search for Azure, and just install it. Here you can see MIT license is provided, the Azure MCP server, which is official. So here you can see what you can do with Azure MCP server. So you can do Azure AI search, Azure app configuration, Azure container registry, Cosmos DB, data explorer, Azure monitor, resource management, SQL databases, Azure storage. These are the currently supported tools. So inside this particular, you can see what you can do with each of the services. Azure AI search, list Azure AI search services. So here you can see we have different options available for Azure AI Foundry. We can Azure Foundry models, deploy Foundry models, Azure Function app, Key Vault, Kubernetes. So there are lots of options available. So we are going to install this Azure MCP server. Now it is asking for tenant ID, service principal, work ID. So we need to authenticate first. So for the authentication purpose, let's go to the Azure account. All right, we need to sign into our Microsoft Azure account. So we have created our account. You will get a code, just enter the code. Okay, so we have successfully logged into our Azure account. Now what we need to find is tenant ID. So for the tenant ID, you can simply go to Entra. So here you can find your tenant ID, and currently there are no applications. This is the tenant ID. Copy this tenant ID. Let's go back to the Visual Studio, and here you need to provide the tenant ID. Then it is asking for client ID. So where will you get the client ID? So for client ID, what you need to do is you need to create one application. So let's create one application, new registration. Let's name this as MCP support app. Account in this organizational directory only. There will be no redirect URI, and just click register. So we have our application successfully created. Now from here we get this client ID. So copy this client ID, go back to Visual Studio Code, and in Visual Studio Code simply paste your client ID. Now you need to provide the client secret as well. So for that, go to your Azure account. Now here you see the option of add a certificate or a secret. Click on this, click on new client secret. Enter a description for your secret, MCP support app, and let's say we are creating the secret for 90 days expiry date. Okay, so our secret is created successfully. Now let's go to the Visual Studio Code, and here just paste the client secret and press enter. So you can select the optional specific subscription. So currently we have only one subscription, that is Azure subscription. So we are going to enter. Okay. Now we have this Azure MCP server installed. Now what we can do is, now this is in the agent mode. Now let me show you the tools option. So here you can see MCP server Azure MCP is listed, and you can verify it from here as well. You can verify it here as well. So option of list servers. So in the list server, you see we have Azure MCP running, and this is global in code. meaning that in multiple workspaces we can use this Azure MCP server. We can install this server in the current workspace as well. This option is also available to us. Let's select this and let's see the configuration of this Azure MCP server. So here you can see in this Azure MCP server, this is the stdio mode, that is local mode we are going to use because we are working on the same system. So we are going to use this stdio mode. So it is a node package manager. So this server is created using node, and you can see in the environment it asks us for tenant id, client secret, subscription id, and Azure MCP collect telemetry as well. And these are the input section. So when we are installing this server, so it asked us this as your tenant id, as your client id. So this is the configuration for this Azure MCP server. Now let's go to the GitHub Copilot, open chat. Let me maximize it. So we are going to use agent mode, and before that let me close this file. Okay, we are going to use this agent mode, and here you can see we have built-in function and we have this Azure MCP servers, and all the tools inside the servers are listed here. Okay, so 82 tools are selected now. So see, these are the tools available for the Azure MCP server: Azure Resource Health, Redis, Azure Subscription Listing, Azure Virtual Desktop. So see, it gives us the result. There are currently no subscription listed for your Azure account. If you believe you should have subscription, please verify your Azure login or permission. Let me know if you need help troubleshooting or want to add a subscription. Okay, so what you need to do is first you need to uh, log into your Azure account via Azure CLI. Now let me list down the resource group available under this subscription. So here you can see learning resource group that we have created earlier. Location South India. It is inside the subscription 7A 71A0B586. So here the subscription ID 71A0B. Now inside this resource group we don't have any resources yet. So if I list all the resources inside this resource group. So there aren't any resources, so it will return empty results. So see, tool lists the resources inside the resource group. So currently exposed MCP tools only list resource group, not the individual resources inside them. Since there is no generic list all resource in a resource group tool, in the set you have the reliable path is to use as your CLI or resource group command. Since in the tool there is no option to list the resources, so it provides us several options. So this particular option and this response also depends on the model we are using. For now, we are using GPT-5 and GPT-5 has provided this many options to list the resources under that particular resource group. But currently for the tools, listing down the resources inside this resource group is not available. So here you can see inside this, if we go to, so here you can see we have the subscription list available. We have resource list all the resource group in the list. If I show you key vault operation command for managing and accessing, all right, so this are an Azure SQL commanding for managing Azure SQL databases and servers. So let me do one thing. Let's see if list down all the Azure SQL servers present in my account. So see the SQL DB list command is missing required parameters. Missing required option, resource group, allow. So see, there are no Azure SQL. So no Azure SQL servers were written in the subscription empty list. Possible region, you generally have no SQL servers yet. You are in the wrong subscription, access restriction. So if we go to our account as well, so we don't have any SQL server or we don't have any resources available. So this is all about the MCP server's capabilities. Now let's see if we can create resource with this Azure MCP server. Let's go back to the Visual Studio Code and create a storage account with proper naming convention inside learning resource group. So let's see if it is able to create a resource under the learning resource group or not. So we simply provided the prompt to create a data lake storage account. Command for managing Azure and the blob services for a scalable cloud storage solution. Hit allow. So here you can see this request is failed. The storage account create command is missing required parameters. Now it has started creating ADLS into a storage account and retrying a storage with correct parameters, a structure per command specification. So here you can see create ADLS into a storage account. The storage account create parameters. It takes the subscription name. It takes the resource group account. So here you can see it has picked this stlearn dls01. Location South India, SKU it has taken access tier what, and enable hierarchical namespace true for creating the Azure Data Lake storage into account. Hit allow, it again fail. Error creating a storage account. The subscription is not registered to use namespaces. So first of all, we need to register namespaces. So it will run the Azure CLI command. Registration is still going. You can monitor using agent provider. So here you can see still the status is registering. And once the registration state is completed, so see this particular agent is smart enough, so it sleep for 5 seconds, then again it tries to check the registration status. So see it is still registering, then it sleeps for 8 seconds. So this is all happening behind the scenes. LLMs, this particular agent via LLMs is thinking that how it can create a storage account under the Azure under the resource group, under the specified resource group, and for that it requires to register the namespace Microsoft storage under the subscription. So for that it generates the Azure CLI command, it is running the CLI command and it is checking if the registration is completed or not. Once the registration will complete, it will again retry the command to create the storage account. Now see here, the namespace registration is done. Now create ADLS Gentoo storage account. Let me maximize it. Let's hit allow and let's see if it is successful or not. So see, this is the storage account location, SKU, access tier, parameters, subscription. So it performs all the tasks using Azure CLI commands. So here in the output, we see status 200, message success, result account has data. Now verify the storage account existence. So it suggests us to verify a storage account. For that, there is also a CLI command, hit allow and see. Data lake storage account created successfully, stlearn DLS 002. All the endpoints are provided. For baseline containers, recommended next step, create baseline containers, RBAC roles, soft deletes. So all the next step it also suggested us. Okay, now let's go to the Azure account and see if we have this storage account created or not. Here you can see inside learning. So this is our storage account. Okay, locally redundant storage v2 general purpose, hierarchical namespace enabled. And if I talk about containers, so there are no containers yet, but we can create the container as well by simply providing a prompt to our agent. Okay, see there is no items found, but the naming convention stlearn ATLS01 it follows the Microsoft naming convention. So either a storage account start with ST or it start with DLS. So it uses the prefix ST for creating this storage account with this name. So we can create the resources as well with Azure MCP Server, and we can also manage our resources as well. So these are the several tools available. You can explore these tools. And also one more thing. So for this GitHub Copilot, for free version, there is a particular limit. You can choose for pro version. So let me show you the pricing for GitHub Copilot as well. So go to let me show you the GitHub Copilot pricing. So see, when you use the free version, so 50 agent mode or chat request per month, you will get 50 agent mode or chat request per month, 2000 completion per month, and you get the access to Claude Sonnet 3.5 GPT 4.1 and more. So we have already seen we have five AI models available to use. And if you use the Pro, then you will get $10 per month and $100 per year, where everything is free. We will get unlimited agent mode and chats with GPT-5 mini, unlimited code completion, access to code review, Claude Sonnet, and much more, and 6 times more premium requests than Copilot free. We also have coding agents, and then we have this Pro Plus. So these are the individual plans. We have the business plan as well. So for business, $19 USD. So what's included? So you can go to this particular site, and according to your use case, you can opt for best suitable version. Okay, so that's how we can use Azure MCP server by simply providing some prompts, and we can also manage our resources as well. We can create the resources as well. In the next video, we will create data pipelines, and we will see if this MCP servers are available to create a data pipeline or not. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.